from Seattle, Washington. Boy, I hope you're warm because it's cold up there. From Seattle, Washington, we have Rebekah and Curtis. Good
Hey,
evening.
good evening. It is cold. It's very cold.
Well, I'm glad you're inside. I don't think you're shivering or getting any frostbite. I hope everything's going well.
Yes, I'm wearing a sweater that's nice and warm and toasty, and yeah, that's
That's wonderful.
staying
Seattle,
warm.
Washington. Now you know tonight is worship night, and just by chance, did you just happen here and you're also a worship leader? Is that kind of a coinky dink or what's going on there?
I love worship, and so I'm a worship leader for a small uh church in Marysville. It's called New Creation, and it is a recovery church for
Oh,
yeah, it's well, everybody can attend, but the focus is on people who are just starting out in their faith, who are coming from really hard places in life, and ending up and helping them discover Jesus and love Jesus and love each other. And it's a wonderful church, and I love being a part of it. It's amazing.
well, Miss Rebekah and Curtis, what is the first song that's coming from Seattle this evening?
Well, I thought I would do this song that I wrote called Always Be. It's based on the Beatitudes.
I like it. Always be from Rebekah and Curtis on Red's Room.
Those who are poor, you make them rich. For those in grief, their spirits lift. And those in pain,
defender of the weak. Oh, that is so important because so many of us, in our weakness, in our moments, we forget that the Lord is our strength when
Mhm.
we are weak. Want to finish that one?
Yeah, when when we are weak, he's strong.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Rebekah, you are a oh look, you are a worship leader for a recovery church. Isn't that isn't that interesting? I'm sorry, I'm having a fun night trying to catch up. I've
That's
I've been
okay.
catching up the whole night, so it's funny. You're married.
I
How
am married.
how is your
How's my
how's your
marriage?
husband
Good.
this evening? Is he working or is he
No,
hanging
he's
out?
downstairs playing video games.
Do you care to share which ones? I'm sort of like a sports guy, like Madden sports. Is
That's
he?
what he's playing.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
awesome. I love it.
Yeah, he's like every year he's like, "Don't hate me." I'm like, "I know what you're doing. I know what you're buying. Go have fun. I don't. I'm not gonna wait until it comes out later and wait till its price drops." I'm like, "I know. I know."
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who have a lot of cartridges and a lot of CDs and a lot of other things. And of course, now you just download it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What would you like to do for us next?
I want to do this song called Use It All. And I know I do this song a lot, but I really it is a song, it's a reminder to myself that God can use everything and anything for his glory. And I think that's really important is that are we willing to allow God to use all of our story? This last no, it wasn't this last weekend, but the weekend before, we had this guy came out. He's like new in the faith, like brand new, spanking to Jesus, and like um the guy is like already like going around the world, literally going around the world and telling people his testimony of how he was delivered from demonic oppression and from drugs and alcohol, and how he got saved, and how he's been like on a path of repentance of like everything that he's ever done that's ever bad, and how God is in the midst of that, like changing his thought process. Like he's like brand new, like saved for like 7 months, and he went down to, I think he went, I can't remember. I want to say Mexico, but I'm not sure. And to a prison down there and gave an altar call, and like 31 guys like were like, yes, I want to receive Jesus because of his testimony. So, um, and I think that it is important that we not forget our brokenness and where we came from to the point of Jesus, and that we allow God to look at the brokenness in our lives, because there's something broken with all of us, and it doesn't matter if you grew up in church or if you've started outside of the church and then found Jesus later on. Is that the people that grew up in church are just as broken as the guy that did a whole bunch of drugs and found Jesus like 7 months ago. It's just that he's very honest about it. And I think that we should be honest with each other. And, you know, as the scripture says, search my heart, God, reveal the things that need to be fixed, you know, like if there's anything unclean in me, fix it, clean it, you know,
Mhm.
reveal those things to me. And I think that that's, it's a scary thing to do, you know, but all of it can be used, if we allow him to fix it, can be used for his glory, for his kingdom.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Use it all.
Rebecca Ann Curtis on Red's Ring. Okay, right after the bridge, or the last part of that bridge, you just said it. Grace is
Mm-hmm,
enough.
mm-hmm.
And you said it so emphatically. I love that. Thank you, Rebekah. Oh man, I put it in the comments. I said grace, and the next line is, and the next line enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just, oh man, thank you so
We
much for
saved.
sharing that.
We are saved by grace through faith and not of works, lest any man should boast.
Mhm. Good stuff. We
Mm-hmm.
got some more comments. Lisa Lynch, who's one of the Reds Room uh, participants this evening, loves this song. That's so
Mm.
cool. Brian Irwin is wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. And Yolanda, so good to have you. Well, Yolanda, I can't even talk. Yolanda? Yolanda is going to be on Red's Room tomorrow afternoon, my time, which will be tomorrow night, East Coast time, because it's the East Coast invasion once again, Red's Room 209. But I have Rebekah and Curtis here. And Rebekah, let me look at my notes again. Now, you were a secular artist at one point, and now you
Yeah.
have decided to give your talents, treasures to
Yeah.
the work of God. Let's hear about
Okay. So here's what happened is because I got disenchanted with church for a while. Church hurt. Everybody gets church hurt at some point in time. Somebody says something, somebody does something. Sometimes it's really nasty, and sometimes, and so it wasn't super nasty, but it wasn't super like placid either. So I was just like, I got really frustrated and I got really burnt out. And I told God, I was like, look, I'm kind of done with this whole church thing. These people, I'm not done with you, but I'm done with church for a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that I'm forsaking them. I just need a break. And so, which is a bad thing to do. It really is. When you say, I need a break from God's people and I need to be outside of communion with people, because it's the word says, do not forsake the gathering of yourselves together. And I should have stayed in church because I ended up making some pretty bad decisions. And one of those decisions was, I wouldn't say that it was absolutely terrible, but things just didn't go the way that I expected them to go. Nor did it go as like I hit a lot of just weird things. Just didn't It just wasn't right doing the whole secular thing because it was more about me. It was more about trying to figure out what the audience wanted to hear instead of really just pouring my heart out to God. And let me tell you, I have always, like, from since I was a kid, I experienced like horrific stage fright. And it was worse because I'm like, do these people even like, did they notice? And so I would sit there and go, oh, I made a mistake. And then like analyze my performances as I did them. And then would be mortified. And then because if you make one mistake, you can lose an entire audience. And so it was like just really like it being in the like super analytical and really focusing on what man wanted. And man doesn't look. I don't even know what I want half the time when I go to to a restaurant to choose. Who am I to try to sit there and try and figure out what people want, what an audience wants? And so I got to a point where I was just getting frustrated because I love music and I love singing and I love writing songs. And um, I was just hitting a wall and I was getting going crazy doing music. And I was just like, and it was just bleeding a lot of finances. And I just, um, and I had a conversation with God because there was like this is what happened. So there was like this huge lottery, and I was like, oh, it'd be so nice if I won the lottery. And I really felt like the Lord was like, I had this conversation that in my head that kind of went like this. It was like, what would you do with that money? And then I was like, what do you mean? Well, if you had all that money, what would you do with it? And I was like, well, I would definitely tithe. That'd be like the first thing. And then like if you never had to do music again because you had so much money, what would you do? And I sat down and I was just like, you know what I want to do is I want to write worship songs. And I want to write them for the church. And God was like, and I really felt like God was like, do that and I will bless you. And you don't have to worry about, you know, like um you don't have to worry about things. And I was like, and I just took a deep breath in and I said, okay. And so and I was like, well, that means I need to start going back to church again. And that means that I need to, because like I can't be writing songs if I'm not attending church, and I can't be writing and so it's like, all right. So my husband, I was like, honey, I just had a conversation with God and I think we need to go back to church and I need to be writing songs for church. And he's like, okay. So, so, um, so we
I
started going
have to
back
be
to
honest.
church.
I was a little worried you're going to say I won the lottery.
Oh, no. I haven't bought a,
Okay, that's good because actually that could be very bad for certain types of people. But go ahead. I digress. Go ahead.
oh yeah, no. So no, I haven't bought a lottery ticket for since then. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
my husband may have, but I have not. But yeah. Um, so then so I ended up meeting, like, things have just gone very naturally and very organically, where I was like pounding down doors and like calling people and like trying to schedule stuff for myself for things, and performances and whatnot, and trying to figure out how to get paid, and all the things that go along with being a secular artist, and like trying to figure out how to well, is this song going to be right for the people? Is this what people want to hear? This um I this is so much easier because one is that I have no fear being on stage. As long as I'm focusing on God and why I'm there, I have no fear. The minute I start get my eyes off of God, then it's like, ooh, what am I doing? But when I'm focused on God and I'm focused on Him and everything, there's no fear with with performing or anything
Mm.
like that. I don't it If I make a mistake, I make a mistake, because it's like, I'm not doing it for you people. I mean, I love you all and I'm going to do my best, but I'm not doing my best because of y'all. I'm doing my best because of Him. So there's that. And then uh yeah, so I stopped writing songs for TV and movies and things like that, and just started focusing on writing and singing Christian based worship songs, and
Mm.
songs that are focused on not just worship songs, but also that are focused on that point to Jesus. So yeah,
Mm.
that's where. What was the question? Because now I feel like I've gone on like a rabbit trail and a half. So
I asked you about going from secular to Christian music. You
oh
answered it perfectly.
oh yeah, yeah,
But
no.
that's all the time we have for tonight. Everybody have a good night and join us for the after party. No, I'm just kidding. I tease. I tease.
Just a little
Rebekah,
bit.
what would you like to do next for another really wonderful song?
Mm, so I think I need to do this song because I have to do it, because one is that I wrote it with a guy who lives in upstate New York that I've met once. He's a Christian. He's an amazing songwriter in and of himself, and um, his name is Rob Williams, and he's awesome. Like, yeah, I've met him like once and haven't talked to him in a few years, but he's awesome. So, but we've written a handful of songs together, and this one is on the last thing that I put out, that's on Spotify. It's the Gold EP. and it's called Forgiven. Yes. Yeah.
Rebekah playing Forgiven on Red.
Walking down old roads, places I used to hide. Failures like street signs haunt me as I pass by. I hear them telling me I won't be anything, only what I have been. But they only remind me of who I am. I won't turn back, I won't give up. You can't tell me I'm not enough. I'm not defined by who I was, but who I am. Regrets and roadblocks stop me from leaving my shame. Exits and byways claim they can ease my pain. I hear them telling me I won't be anything, only what I have been. But they only remind me of whose I am. I won't turn back, I won't give up. You can't tell me I'm not enough. I'm not defined by who I was, but who I am. I am forgiven. I am forgiven. My past is done. I'll overcome by the one who sets me free. I'm not mistaken. I won't be shaken. This is who I'm meant to be. I won't turn back. I won't give up. You can't tell me I'm not enough. I'm not defined by who I was, but who I am. I won't turn back. I won't give up. You can't tell me I'm not enough. I'm not defined by who I was, but who I am. I am forgiven. I am forgiven. Oh, forgiven. Yes, forgiven. Oh, forgiven.
Oh, that was beautiful. We're running a little short on time, Rebekah.
Okay.
How can people find you online? I'm going to give you one more song, but I just wanted to get this out of the way. How do people find you?
Well, I just rejoined Twitter, so please come join me on Twitter. I am Tacos and Jesus.
Hold on, say that again slowly.
Tacos and Jesus.
Okay.
Tacos and Jesus on Twitter. So
That's
yes.
Awesome.
And it was available, and I can't believe that it was. I was like, who doesn't love tacos? Who doesn't love Jesus? Why is this? Why does nobody have this? Why do I get it? So I'm like, I canceled my old Rebekah Ann Music like account a while ago, and so I was like, well, I want something different. So I'm Tacos and Jesus.
And I'm getting a quick note. Your Instagram handle, what would that be?
I don't have Instagram.
Are you nobody?
I am nobody on Not the Bee. So if you're on Not the Bee, I am nobody. That's my handle. Not somebody, I'm nobody.
So it's not Instagram, it's Not the Bee, right?
Right, Not the Bee.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
One more song, Elizabeth, to send us off to just Do you have a Christmas song by any chance?
I can do Joy to the World.
I would love Joy to the World.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much, Rebekah, for joining us. Tell your little doggy behind you. We love the doggy, and Amazon is coming with a pair of wire cutters to cut that little dangly wire off.
No, these are.
Or do you like it?
No, see, these are hand wound strings, and so if you don't crimp them, but you cut them beyond where they've crimped, they'll unwind.
Ooh, that wouldn't be good. Well, you just leave those strings alone. Tell that Amazon guy to send the wire cutters to somebody who needs them. Okay.
All righty.
You have a good night, Miss Rebekah and Curtis, direct from Seattle, Washington. Thank you so much for joining us. Now